Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm actually going to talk about bloating. It might seem pretty random of a video, but when I first started my channel, which was actually I think January, it was January of this year, 2018. But one of the things I knew I wanted to talk about was bloating, because this issue has bothered me for years, and there was 2 years where it was really intense in my life because I didn't know why I was getting bloated, and I would do so much research and it took forever to figure out the main cause of it. So I figured I would just address bloating from my experience, because I really feel like this can help someone, because like doing all the research I did from YouTube and Google, that's how I found out my issues, because I even saw doctors and they weren't able to give me the right reason why I was bloating. So just to give you a little bit of background, first off, I always have to say this, Paisley's in my lap right now playing with her toy, because I can't be on the floor without her being in my lap. She's too attached. Anyways, freshman year of high school, I was diagnosed with acid reflux and IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. So right off the bat, I just have stomach issues. It kind of just runs in my family. And then my sister, she's 2 years older, she actually got diagnosed with celiac when she was in high school. So I constantly knew to get tested for it because I had the gene, and it wasn't until freshman year of college where I tested positive for celiac and my gene activated. So I have celiac disease too. So all these factors really contribute to me just having a really sensitive stomach. But with that being said, I went through periods where I was just doing paleo and trying to eat healthy to like heal my gut and stuff like that. But now if you follow me, I just kind of do if it fits your macros, and I don't really eat that great of stuff and eat much vegetables at all, and my stomach is fine. But with that being said, there are still factors that affect me personally where I bloat. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to talk about factors that would apply to everyone, and it might be something that you're experiencing and you're not sure why you're getting bloated right now, and this could be the reason. Also, what's important is that I know there's a lot of videos like how to get rid of your bloating, but honestly, with everything else in life, even with knee pain or something, you always want to find the source to your pain or your bloating. The way to find a solution is to find the source, right? Instead of doing all these home remedies to prevent bloating and heal your bloating, why don't you actually figure out the source to why you're constantly bloated or getting bloated, you know? Because then that's the way you can actually prevent it. So I'm gonna go in order from the most obvious reasons to bloating to maybe not the most obvious reasons to bloating, and what took me like a really long time to figure out. So the first one is obviously only applies to females, but it's your hormones and your period. I always get bloated like a week before I actually get my period. I'm never really actually totally bloated on my period, which is weird. So like I'll get super bloated a week before and I'll just be like, oh yep, I'm probably just getting my period. So that's just a simple reason number one. There's really nothing you can do to prevent it. It just happens and you have to live with it. If you have cramps, maybe take Midol, relax, use a heat pad, but that's just could be source number one. And I also did take birth control for 6 months, and that made me really hold on to weight, so that could also attribute to bloating as well. And then feeding into source number two, which goes along with hormones, is stress, because obviously when you have high cortisol levels, you get really stressed out, and that can cause bloating. So this is something I experienced when I was personal training full-time, which I did right out of college. I personal trained full-time, and that requires a really intense schedule of a client at 5 a.m. and a client at 8 at night. So I was not getting great sleep at all because I was all over the place, and my meals were all over the place because I obviously would get hungry super early because I had to wake up so early, and then you're up later at night as well. So stress is a huge factor to bloating. Like, I don't think it's even possible for me to not be bloated if I have a crazy schedule like that. Because even going on trips, your body's stressed out, and that's why you get bloated and you just hold on to water. And I'm not sure about you guys, but because I have a sensitive stomach, if I don't have my normal routine in the morning, I am not able to go to the bathroom first thing in the morning, and then I'm just bloated the rest of the day, and my digestive system is just so off. Because I need to wake up and I need to set aside like an hour just to sit down and have my coffee and a huge thing of water, because if I don't, then my digestive system is off. So that is another reason that could be why you're bloating, is you just don't have a great routine, or you're out of your normal routine, and then that's just why you're bloating. So in order to prevent that, just make sure you try to stick, even if you're traveling somewhere, to try just to stick to your normal routine as much as possible. And if you're not able to and you bloat, then you just have to kind of embrace it and just drink a lot of water. Just know that, you know, even though you're bloated, you'll probably be back to normal in no time once you're back to your normal routine. Now, feeding into the third reason, which kind of goes along with your body being stressed out and out of your normal routine, is eating out. So almost without fail, if I eat out to like a steak restaurant or something, the next morning I'm still bloated, and that's because, you know, you just take in a lot of sodium. Sodium is a huge part of bloating. When you eat out, the meals are always drenched in sodium, so that's just a simple one. You're just gonna be bloated for probably the next day, and then you'll be back to normal. It's no big deal. But if you're bloated, it's not from a big meal that you ate the night before. It's not because you gained weight at all. It's just because you took in a lot of sodium and your body is then just bloated from it. So no big deal, it'll go away, but that could be another reason. And then feeding into the next one, which relates to that one, is overeating. You could have eaten a lot the night before, obviously because of sodium, but also because you're just taking in a crazy amount of calories, so you're gonna be bloated. So this summer was the first time I tracked my macros, and I tracked it in order to lean down. So I was a little bit in a deficit, not a crazy one, but just a little one. But I barely got bloated this summer, and that's because I was pretty strict with my macros, made sure I was following them, and because of that, I just was never bloated. But now, going into right now, around Christmas time, I have been doing like a mini bulk, but basically not tracking my macros so intensely, like just making sure I get enough so that I'm hitting my protein and my fats, and then just getting in all the carbs because I just want to put on more muscle mass on my legs. So with overeating comes bloating, because you're just taking in so many calories that your body is not able to digest so quickly. So it's just going to be really slow in digesting it unless you have a great digestive system, unlike me. But I find that I'm bloated a lot right now because I'm just eating a lot, which is totally normal. You can't expect your digestive system to quickly process all that food. But another tool that I utilized was intermittent fasting, and I've been using it for a really long time, but I also don't use it every day, because if I wake up starving, then I'm just gonna eat. Like, I'm not gonna deprive myself, but it was a way to help with my bloating, because a thing that intermittent fasting allows you to do is it allows your body to get a break. You know, like, you can be eating so much throughout the day, but if you give your stomach just time to digest and relax, that can help so much with your bloating. Obviously, if you're hungry, eat, but if you find you're really bloated still in the morning, then just don't eat for a little bit. Allow your body to relax and rest, because your stomach needs that too. And now going into my last one, which was the one I struggled with a lot, is food intolerances. I'm sure you hear this all the time, and you might say, you know, like, I'm eating the same thing every day, but I'm still bloated. Well, it could be something that you're eating every day, and that's what's causing you to bloat, because that's what happened to me. To give you more of a story regarding this topic is, I obviously know I have celiac, so I avoid gluten. And I said I found that out freshman year of college. But then senior year of college is when I really started getting into fitness. With that came eating a lot of egg whites, because, you know, egg whites are such an easy source of protein. And I never really had such a crazy amount of egg whites in my diet as I did starting senior year of college. And I would get so bloated. My dad's a doctor, and I would text him all the time pictures of me being bloated, like looking like I'm 6 months pregnant, and my stomach felt like a rock. And he attributed it to just like my digestive system, like my acid reflux or my IBS or whatever, and would give me like stuff for that, but it just did not help. And it went on for like 2 years, and so during this time span I'd still struggle with like my stomach just feeling literally like a rock. Like, it felt like my stomach was gonna burst through my skin. It hurt so bad. So it wasn't like a bloating that felt like I was overeating. It was a bloating that just felt like it hurt. Like, now I get a normal bloating, but this was a hurt one. So anyways, since my dad's a doctor, he, you know, knows a lot of specialists, so he recommended me to his friend. And obviously his friend said, if you are into bloating, you probably have heard of the FODMAPs diet. It's an acronym. It stands for certain like sugars, I believe it is. And basically there's only a certain amount of foods you're able to eat, and you're supposed to avoid all the ones that are high FODMAPs, because they can cause you to bloat. All lean protein was totally fine on FODMAPs, including egg whites and eggs in general. So I was still having a very clean diet. I tried it, I think it was close to 30 days, and I was very good with it because when I want to do something, I really stick with it. So I was on this FODMAPs diet, but I was still bloated because eggs are fine. So obviously I didn't know I was allergic to eggs. So he thought because I was still on this FODMAPs diet, but still experiencing bloating, that I had SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And that's something that you take antibiotics for. And it's just basically like you have bacteria in your intestines, obviously the name of it, SIBO, but it was something that you couldn't really, that was very hard to heal because it would come back constantly. Like it wasn't, like you would take the antibiotics, but it could still show up again like a month later. So I remember this when I was researching it because I thought I had it, because I had all the same symptoms with the bloating, and it was common for people with IBS and everything. So I told him, like, you know, I would still be getting it, but he would just give me more antibiotics. And, you know, like, it was just like so frustrating because I'm like, this sucks. Like, I'm fine a few days because of the antibiotics, but then it comes right back, and people are saying there's nothing you can do about it. If you have SIBO, you just have it. So obviously I would try digestive enzymes and stuff. I was still just getting really frustrated. So I would still continue to do my research and just like Google things. And then I don't know why, but one day I just Googled something like I don't know, I would, because I was always Googling this stuff, I would always come across articles that pop up like why you're bloating or food in the top food allergies and stuff like that. And the number 2 food allergies was eggs. And I was like, that's really surprising. I never saw that because obviously like nuts are a popular one and obviously gluten, whatever, but I never come across eggs. So I looked into that, and one of the first things I saw was it said, if you have IBS, it's really common that you're allergic to eggs. And I was like, okay, why did no one ever tell me this? And this was okay in the FODMAPs diet, like what the heck? And I'm having eggs every single day. So I eliminated eggs and I never got bloated again, or like that painful kind of bloating again. And that was literally life-changing, because you would think also that he would tell me as like he was a GI doctor, a gastrointestinal doctor, that he would be like, you know, like, why don't you try, this is like a high food allergy, why don't you try eliminating that? But whatever, I found it out by myself through Google, and that is a big food allergy for me. It affects me more than gluten does, actually, because gluten is just like, it makes me really lethargic, but eggs make me just hurt so badly, and specifically egg whites. That is something that I like can't stress enough. If you're having that painful kind of bloat, is look into what you're eating, because even if it comes across as something that's clean, it could still affect you, you know? So if you're having that every day and you're getting bloated every day, try taking it out of your diet. Like, it's not that hard. Like, just try doing that with everything you eat if you're still experiencing this bloating that isn't caused by something else I said, and it's a hurt kind of bloating where you could be like have an intolerance from it. So those are my sources of bloating that I would advise you to look into if you're experiencing bloating and you're obviously concerned about it, because it concerned me for a while. Like, now if I'm bloated, I'm not concerned because I know the sources of it. And I will say, I don't really have any tips for fixing bloating, because sometimes you just have to ride it out, and it is what it is, you know? Like, sure, I'll drink lots of water, but you're obviously going to be bloated from the amount of water you're drinking, so you won't be until the next day where you wake up better anyways, you know? You just really have to find the source and then prevent that from happening again, or else you're just constantly going to be bloated. Like, when I was having the eggs, I would literally wake up every single morning, 6 months pregnant still, because I didn't know the source. There was never a time where I felt like skinny, where I could suck in, because I was just so bloated all the time from not knowing the source of it. And I would still have like fiber and try all the tips to stop bloating, but that didn't help because I didn't find the source. That concludes this video. I know it was a lot, but clearly it's something that like affected me for a while. I'm very passionate about sharing that with people, because if they have the same pain that I was feeling, I definitely want them to find the source, because it helps so much. But here's Paisley, perfect timing to say bye. She got pajamas from her grandma for Christmas here, and we like never want to take it off her because she looks so cute in them. She literally looks like a little baby. She's my little baby, right? Anyways, thanks if you watched this whole video. I really hope it helped someone, and if it did, please comment below, because that would be really cool. And I know I'm not like this guru on like health and stuff, but that's just my life experience, and I've had a lot of research into it because of what I went through. So yeah, with that being said, I hope everyone's having happy holidays, and I will see you in the next one.